Word. So, I just want to start this video off by saying this is fair use. Okay? It's fair use. It's my commentary. It's not fact. It's just opinion. And with that being said, let's go on with the video. In recent news, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, a.k.a. Mr. Stephen A. Simp, a.k.a. Mr. Stephen A. Snitch. And listen, these aren't the names I haven't given him these names. These are other YouTubers that's given this name. And you know, sometimes it just seems fitting. Very fitting. Mr. Stephen A. Smith has been in recent news, and he's been catching fire because of his criticism of Kyrie Irving and the difference he has been shown to show towards Aaron Rodgers, who has recently came under fire for pretty much lying about getting the COVID vaccine and putting other people at risk, as opposed to Mr. Kyrie Irving, who was pretty straightforward with how he's going to handle it. He does not have all the information. He does not feel safe putting something into his body, and that's his business. And to be honest with you, that's Mr. Aaron Rodgers' business too. He doesn't owe anyone to tell anybody what he's putting in his body, but that's neither here or there. Mr. Stephen A. Smith in the past has gotten in trouble, at least with the black community, for scrutinizing black athletes for one thing, and when confronted with the job of critiquing said white athlete, he does not go in as he would. Another example of this is when, as some of you maybe remember, there's a football player named Josh Gordon. And Mr. Stephen A. Smith took that time to pretty much lambast the man on TV for weeks, months, and every time the man came to the league and saying, "Stay off the weed," you know, as opposed to the Colts owner, Mr. Jim Irsay, who was on a litany of drugs. And to be honest with you, Mr. Jim Irsay is much more representative of the NFL because he's the owner. And, you know, that vitriol did not come to Mr. Jim Irsay. You know what happened? Mr. Stephen A. Smith wished that man luck, you know, and as he should have. But you know what? He should have wished Mr. Josh Gordon luck. And that comes to the issue. You know, Stephen A. has a problem. You know, he has a problem with this. And I don't know if his bosses have something over him. I don't know if he has a problem with certain players not giving him interviews or something of that nature. But what I do know is he can't stop himself. He can't help himself. I don't think anyone has anything over his head. I think this is Stephen A. I think he's a natural born coon. And I don't use that word lightly. I don't. But Mr. Stephen A. Smith is one of them. You know, I think he is addicted to keeping his own position safe. And he does not have any type of antenna for the pulse of situations. And the only time he goes back on himself is when, you know, his friends at ESPN tell him, "Yo, the black community is ripping you up on the internet, bro. You need to change your tune." You know, that's why they had that little segment with Jay Williams. But anyway, the following clips are going to represent that. And I hope you enjoy.
Keyshawn Johnson still here, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karen Rose. We have breaking news. Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID-19. As Tom Pelissero reported, he will be out Sunday versus the Chiefs. The Packers are 7-1. Stephen A., we'll go around the table starting with you. Your reaction?
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, you know, it's not major. They're 7-1. If they were to lose the game to Kansas City, which, by the way, I'm not sure they will. We'll see what Jordan Love's made of. But it's just one game. They'd be 7-2, worst case scenario. If this were an injury that was going to leave him out for weeks or whatever, you know, that's fine. But, he's just out because he got the Rona. I mean, that's what it is. He got the Rona. He came down with the Rona, hanging around with the Raw team, probably Pat McAfee. For all we know. I love Pat. I just played around. No, but Pat around. I mean, listen, I'm watching Pat on SmackDown. I told you he's doing a good job. But you're hanging around with a bunch of people now. I mean, Pat McAfee's around a lot of people. Okay, so I'm just saying, even though that was a video interview that he did with Aaron Rodgers, as opposed to being in person, I'm just saying you got the Rona somehow, some way. Can happen to any of us. We got the Rona.
Go back to the craziest thing you said.
He got the Rona.
Go back to the craziest thing you said, which is this is not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Maybe Kimberly. You taking this position. You see, this is the kind of stuff that annoys me. And I remember I've said this on numerous occasions when people were talking about, you got players that come into the league and they talk about keeping it real, being authentic and all of this other stuff. And I remember when one player, I brought up how he rolled up in the draft. And you rolled up in the draft and you had on suits and your hair was cut just nice and you were looking sharp as hell and the whole stuff. Why? Because you were trying to get your money. Then once you got your money, now you want to tell everybody about being real and potentially compromising their bottom line because you no longer have to be concerned about yours. See, that's where the selfishness comes in here. The selfishness also comes in here when you're talking about leaving your teammates hanging. And all I'm saying is at the end of the day, when you talk about a voice, listen, Kyrie spoke to the media, Jay. He said it's a privacy matter. That's what he said. He had an opportunity to explain himself. He continues to get opportunities to explain himself. But he's saying, excuse me, it's a privacy matter. Respect my privacy. So what voice is he talking about?
But Stephen, can I ask you a quick question on this one, my man?
Sure.
And I'm pro-vaccine. I've taken a vaccine. I'm double vaxxed.
So have I.
But you said that he's selfish. Doesn't he have the right to be selfish to do what he wants to do for Kyrie? He hasn't said anything.
He
hasn't came out and said that other people should not. He hasn't said anything at all.
I'm answering your question. Your question. Of course he has the right. That's the part that annoys me. When people say he has the right, you act like us criticizing him is us saying he doesn't have the right. He does have the right.
Absolutely.
But he also has the right to be called out for it. Just like somebody has the right to be real. Well, guess what? There's various levels of real. You can be real stupid. You can be real dumb. You can be real selfish. You can be real hypocritical. There's a whole bunch of levels of realness out there in the real world. Nobody is questioning Kyrie's right to take the position that he's taken. What I'm talking about. It's not major. The 7-1. If they were to lose the game to Kansas City, which, by the way, I'm not sure they will. We'll see what Jordan Love's made of. But it's just one game. They'd be 7-2, worst case scenario. He just out because he got the Rona. I mean, that's what it is. He got the Rona. He came down with the Rona, hanging around with the Raw team, probably Pat McAfee. Well, we know.
Go back to the craziest thing you said, which is this is not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Kimberly.
Well. Jay Williams, it's good to have you with us.
It's good to be back.
And when we're talking about the subject of superstar athletes and vaccination status, makes me think of Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, how does the Rodgers situation compare to Kyrie's?
It doesn't. They are drastically different.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is exponentially worse. There was not only a lie, there was an intent to lie. And just a couple of things for you, Stephen A., because we obviously have this gripe. I have this gripe with you. Because
It's both of us.
Yeah. It's fine. I wrote down some things that you said here.
Sure.
So 3.5 weeks ago, you said it amounts to betrayal for Kyrie. You said, quote, flat out stupid as relates to what he's doing. Quote, bad teammate, quote, selfish, October 16th on CNN, to the hell with you. You say all these things about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving was very upfront and honest about what his situation was. Mm-hmm. He wasn't jeopardizing anybody else. He didn't put anybody else on the Brooklyn Nets and their team at risk. When he was allowed to be around the team, he had his mask on. He abided by all the rules. But he was subject to mass criticism by you. Animated criticism by you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in a green room and I watch you and I see your points that you had against Aaron Rodgers, and I appreciate the stance by calling him a liar. I just didn't feel the same venom. I didn't feel the same energy that was associated with Kyrie Irving. And a part of me wonders why. How come you don't hold Aaron Rodgers to the same, who lied on national, looked reporters in the eye and said, yeah, I'm immunized.
Okay.
Why not? I don't understand that.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not major. The 7-1. If they were to lose the game to Kansas City, which, by the way, I'm not sure they will. We'll see what Jordan Love's made of. But it's just one game. They'd be 7-2, worst case scenario.
You bet not let them talk about our boy.
I didn't feel the same venom. I didn't feel the same energy that was associated with Kyrie Irving. And a part of me wonders why. How come you don't hold Aaron Rodgers to the same, who lied on national, looked reporters in the eye and said, yeah, I'm immunized.
Okay.
Why not? I don't understand that.
I can answer it. You ready?
Yes.
Well, first of all,
I came here to hear your answer.
Okay, well, first of all, number one, I wasn't sitting across from you talking about Aaron Rodgers. I was sitting across from Bart Scott and Dan Orlovsky, who both agreed with me. You and I were arguing, so that might have had something to do with my intensity level.
Okay.
To answer that question directly. That's number one. Number two, let's go down the list about what I'm saying, because, again, I've been on the record. Aaron Rodgers is a liar. Aaron Rodgers to be suspended. Period. I don't know how much stronger I could be than that.
Okay.
Now, that's number three.
I heard Bart say he should be suspended. I heard you tack on that. I didn't heard you leave.
All right.
No, I hear you, but listen to me.
Right.
When you set arguments now,
Yeah.
when you feel passionately about something, you would say he should be suspended.
No. What I'm saying to you is that you and I were getting into an intense argument. Bart Scott, myself, and Dan Orlovsky were agreeing with one another. So what I'm saying is the level of intensity, which is what you brought up, since you were questioning my lack of intensity.
Yes.
I'm telling you why. Now I'm back with you again. Do I sound like I sound with Bart?
It sounds like you're passionate now, like you care.
Because I'm sitting across from you. So again, to make my point, I feel that way about Aaron Rodgers. But let me tell you what the difference is, because you and I, see, this is where everybody gets confused about. They act like we talking about the vaccine. No, we weren't talking about it. The argument was, and to some degree it has something to do with the vaccine, do I believe that Kyrie Irving owes Kevin Durant and James Harden them to be there? You damn right. That's where you and I disagree. Because Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden are in Brooklyn because of Kyrie Irving. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
You know this.
Go ahead.
Kevin Durant, they can lie all they want. They can say whatever they want to say. Kevin Durant and them boys led folks to believe they were going to the Knicks. They were going to the Garden. Kyrie Irving is the one that was like, oh, let's make our own legacy. Let's do this. Now, I understand it wasn't a pandemic at that particular moment in time. I understand that a pandemic changes the course of things. But what I'm also saying is there's a whole bunch of people that didn't want to take the vaccine for the Brooklyn Nets. There's a whole bunch of people that didn't want to subject themselves to that. But they said, yo, we came here trying to win a chip. This is what we're trying to do. So my position, not yours, my position is, since you're the one that got them there, you should be riding right there with them. That's my position.
Okay.
The other point that I'm making is this, and I stand by this. And there are a lot of people that have called and been in support of Kyrie Irving, and I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is not exponentially worse, because let me be clear, I agree with you with that. Okay. Aaron Rodgers is worse because he lied and Kyrie was honest.
Yes.
He lied and Kyrie was honest.
Yes.
And Kyrie was honest. But that's not my point. My point is, this is the first discussion I'm having about comparing the two. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is not worse than Kyrie, but what I am saying about Kyrie also is that last several years, this brother want to show up to work when he want to show up to work. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse not to show up to work. I believe, Jay, let me put this, Jay.
Don't go there. Don't do this.
This is how I feel. You said it. This is how I feel. I believe if it wasn't the vaccine, it'd be something else that got Kyrie Irving missing games.
It's fine. You're allowed to believe that.
That's what I believe. I got evidence, though. And you do, too. Yes, you do.
Of past behavior?
Yes. Yes.
Was Kyrie Irving available last year in the playoffs before he got hurt?
In the playoffs, I'm not talking playoffs. He was available in the playoffs. He was available in the playoffs, yes. He was available in the playoffs.
Okay.
He wants to come to work when he wants to come to work. You were at Brooklyn last night, right?
I was
at Brooklyn. I was at the game last night, too, right? Yeah. How we feel about that crowd? Don't you feel like it's dead up in there compared to the Garden?
Definitely
Don't you
different.
feel it's definitely different? You know what? Let me touch that. Kyrie could change that because he's a showstopper. He's box office.
Okay.
But you know what? How many games that brother's missed?
Come back for me for a second, because I don't want to go off on a tangent on the subject. Number one,
I was just answering your question about the intensity. All right.
Devontae Adams?
What about him?
You don't think he's relying upon Aaron Rodgers to do the right thing? The same accountability that you have Kyrie to Kevin Durant and James Harden? Aaron Jones? Wait, let me finish. Aaron Jones? You don't think he wants to win a Super Bowl?
That's not a discussion, because I agree with you.
Okay.
I said Aaron Rodgers is a liar. He should be suspended. He's lying.
Wait, in Aaron Rodgers' defense, we, the media, did not know, but his teammates did know.
Yeah, I understand that.
I just want to make sure. So they knew that.
I don't even know if they knew.
Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones.
Okay, I don't even know if they knew.
People knew that he was unvaccinated. Within the organization, yes, they knew.
See, this is...
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
That's fine. Thank you for clarifying that.
Well, you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Dan, you want to jump in here?
Okay.
I want to get back to Kyrie, because you also said that I called him flat out stupid. That is inaccurate. I've never called him that. I said what he said was flat out stupid.
Our position on Kyrie change?
Yes, it should change in regards to Kyrie. It should be even worse than we originally imagined. You know, I have to be, and I try to be, incredibly careful, fellas, in terms of I try to focus on what you do, not who you are. People make mistakes. None of us are flawless. All of us have made mistakes. We'll continue to make mistakes. None of us are perfect, and we get all of that. But I've been covering the NBA now for almost 25 years. I mean, this is some of the stupidest nonsense I've ever seen. Just flat out stupid. So let me get this straight. So if the reports are true, because we don't know whether they are or not, okay, but let's give credit to Sham and others who have reported this. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. Let's go with that, okay? If it is true, Jay, if it is true, Marcus, so you don't have a problem with taking the vaccine, your position is that you're going to sit up there and compromise the championship aspirations of an organization you signed on to represent. You coaxed Kevin Durant into signing on to represent. You played the role in coaxing James Harden into signing on to represent. You're going to compromise all of that because you want to give a voice to the voiceless. Really? And how is that going to work out for you, Kyrie Irving? You're going to disappear from the game of basketball? Who the hell is going to be interested in what you have to say when you have proven that you can't even be trusted enough to do your damn job? A job you volunteered for. This ain't the military where you were drafted. You chose to play basketball. You chose to enter the NBA. You chose to sign that contract as a free agent to go to the Brooklyn Nets. You chose Brooklyn as your destination. You chose the Nets franchise to represent. You asked KD and James Harden to come on board with you in Brooklyn to establish your own legacy, and then you leave them hanging. Because of what exactly? Your own individual principle? I am not calling Kyrie Irving stupid. Kyrie Irving, I happen to believe, is an intelligent brother whose heart is in the right place. But now you've regressed to an alarming level of self-righteousness. It not only makes you look hypocritical and untrustworthy, it makes you look what I know you are not, which is flat out stupid. It's the stupidest thing that I think I've encountered with an NBA player. Like, you're gonna sit up there and not play and not take a vaccine that evidently it's not you. You don't have a problem with it according to the reports. You just want to give a voice to the voiceless? Really? You know what? I'm going to stop myself, Molly, Marcus,
let me say something about
Jay.
the hypocrisy.
I'm not going to say anything else right now because I'm scared. I'm actually scared for the rest of this show. Okay. And what I might say.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I want to get back to Kyrie because you also said that I called him flat out stupid. That is inaccurate. I've never called him that. I said what he said was flat out stupid. Excuse me. Why did I say that? Because Kyrie Irving went on social media, and Kyrie Irving sat up there and said, I'm not against the vaccine. I didn't take the vaccine. I'm not against the vaccine. He was all over the place. And I know you saw it too. Yep. What I was saying was he wasn't clear. And I'm saying, if you're not clear about what your position is, then why are you doing what you're doing? And then what he said was, well, I want to give a voice to the voiceless. Well, who's voiceless? Who are you talking about? Who are these people that ain't being heard? What are you talking about? And oh, by the way, that's the reason you ain't playing? So you're not against the vaccine, but you're not playing to bring attention to what other people's plight are? That's what this is about? That's when I said, that's flat out stupid.
Why can't both things be accurate, though? Why can't you be uncertain about whether you want to get vaccinated or not and still say there are a lot of people, there are millions of people out there that feel they're uncertain about it? Both things are true.
He didn't say that they were uncertain about it.
He just didn't say it the way you wanted him to say it.
He said they were voiceless. I'm saying, who's voiceless?
Millions of people were voiceless.
Who? How?
A lot of people. People don't have platforms like you have to talk every single day.
So how did he use his voice? Tell me that.
That he's uncertain. That proves a point.
Who doesn't know that these people don't want to be vaccinated in this day and age, Jay? Who don't know that? I'm just saying, everybody knows there's millions of people that don't want the vaccine. That is not voiceless. That is factually incorrect. He's walking around. Listen, we can make any excuses we want. Kyrie Irving has a right to take his position. He has that right.
I understand.
And I'm saying, and he was honest. And he was honest, and he deserves the credit for that. And he's costing himself money. That's real. And he deserves credit for that too. But we just going to ignore the fact that you got a franchise in Brooklyn that's sitting there and you're waiting for Eric Adams to take office, because I want to give you credit for that, by the way. Because you brought that up weeks ago. Nobody brought that up but Jay Williams. Talked about, hey, this guy comes in as mayor. He eradicates that mandate. Then Kyrie would be able to return back and play. How many games is going to be missed by that particular moment in time?
I don't know, but it could, I mean, how many games could be missed by Aaron Rodgers, too? That's the point, too, right? It could be 2 games with COVID.
And Aaron Rodgers is worse because he's lying.
Thank you.
Because he lied.
I'm glad we agree that. I just, sometimes, I'm going to be very real with you right now. As a young African-American male, I just wanted to see what the public sentiment would be today. Because when I heard that kind of vitriol towards Kyrie and watching it and the way he was politicized and the way he was hung out there to dry, I want to see if those same people are going to do the same thing with Aaron Rodgers.
And I think that
I want to see that.
That's right. And I'm also a black man.
I want to see that.
And I'm also a black man.
That,
yes. So let's be very, very clear. The issue of blackness ain't a discussion here. The point is that in the case of Kyrie Irving, and he's not an orator or anything like that. So again, he may not say things right accordingly, and I get all of that. He's a basketball player, a highly intelligent one. He's not stupid like a lot of people try to say he was. But what you're missing is you keep pointing to the vaccine, and everybody's looking at him.
I didn't point to the vaccine.
No, people that people are
commercial break.
because of anti-vaxxers. That's not the issue.
If you want to come back to this, we can.
Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not major. The 7-1. If they were to lose the game to Kansas City, which, by the way, I'm not sure they will. We'll see what Jordan Love's made of. But it's just one game. We know. I love